Hi Taurus, welcome to your July 2018 reading. My name is Donatella. Welcome to my channel, Donatella Empress of Swords. If this is your first time, I want to thank you guys so much for being here. If you have been here before, thank you guys for coming back. Please like, share, and subscribe so you guys can follow up on the next videos for astrology or tarot. If you guys would also like to get a hold of me, please reach me at Donatella Empress of Swords. And just a few days ago I had posted a video. It's called End of Month June for All Zodiacs. It's a part 3 to a series of the energies of what is conspiring right now, what is happening with us right now. So that way I created it so that way people can see where the energy is moving right now, and how they can help themselves as this progresses, because I was telling you guys that by September through November, there's going to be a huge dramatic changes, even in the next 7 years, because Uranus is in Taurus. So the life that you have now is going to be a completely different life in the next 7 years. It's not even going to be almost recognizable, the kind of life that you're going to have. So I want to get you guys ready for that. I want to make you strong and prepared for it, so that way when these shifts and energies changes, you are very well prepared. Let me explain to you in energy why this is so important for you to know. If you want to get more detailed about the things that I'm explaining, just go ahead and watch that end of month for all zodiac videos, and it will really help you understand currently what is going on. Okay, so there's 6 planets in retrograde. That's what I was talking about at the end of the month video too. So that's one of the things I was explaining. Mercury is in reverse, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, Neptune, and Mars. So you're going to get this feeling like people are impatient, moody, short-tempered, impulsive, aggressive. You're also going to feel like maybe being alone, feeling confined, repetition, routine, moments of shyness, worry, overcritical and of self and others, feeling of all work and no play. Emphasis is upon inner awareness and inner growth. So that you're going to start thinking about, okay, how do I feel? What can I do to make myself feel like I'm moving along, I'm feeling better, like your soul and your spirit is growing. You're going to be thinking about that a lot. And there's something that you can do, because what's going to happen during this time is you're going to really internalize your fears and your anxieties by stripping away the illusions, the dreams, the false realities that have clouded your vision. During this time, it's the destruction of your fantasy world, and it will show those harsh realities you sought to avoid at some stage in the past. Maybe you had kidded yourself about true love, your financial situation, or your career prospects. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily, oh, there's a breakup because, oh, I kidded myself about my relationship. See, that's the problem about relationships these days. People have a little bit of a hurdle, and it gets to the next step of destruction, and then that destruction can turn into disrespect and even sometimes abuse. I'm not saying that abuse is ever okay. It's never okay, whether it's verbal or it's mental or physical. It's never there. But it doesn't make sense to get there when we are moving in peace. You know what I mean? When we're moving in peace, it doesn't need to get there. And if we're living in our truth and both partners are agreeable, then what's the problem? So obviously maybe the other person is not agreeable to you, or you're not agreeable to them. But something that needs to be understood is that both partners need to be agreeable. It's not just one side of the story. Now, I get it. If some people are having financial problems or there's a third-party interference, at the end of the day, everybody wants peace. Everybody wants to get along together. Everybody wants to have Thanksgiving. Everybody wants to have Christmas. So whether it's the issues with the family, the friends, or even the partner, at the end of the day, we all want to be friends. We all want to get invited. It's not fun. It's not fun, like, having all your friends and family members and all the experiences that you had, and you can't even share them with everybody. And I believe the less critical we are with each other, the more we're positive with each other, the more we take care of each other, the more we consider each other, the more compassion we have for each other. Yes, that can move things a lot much better for us. But sometimes people really do lack compassion. Some people are just more logical than emotional. What do you do at that point, Then it's like a cross of personalities. I get it. But then you have to go when it's like that, then I call that the 3D situation. You're on the third dimensional level of thinking, because when you take it to that higher realm where it's like at least fifth dimensional, I feel like that's more spiritual dimension. I feel like the fourth dimension is more like when we're texting each other and we're online communicating with each other, but you can actually communicate someone spiritually, and that's the fifth dimension. And I really think that prayer can help. I think that there's different ways. There's different ways that you can communicate with someone spiritually. Sometimes on a morning, like right before you go to sleep, if you guys want to try this, is a pretty cool, neat trick. It's kind of like getting a text message from God, if you want to call it that. What you do is the night before, pray and ask God to protect your soul, to make sure that it, keeps it pure and clean, and that whenever He wants to communicate with you, to wake you up at a certain specific time, or to keep repeating a number for you. Now, if that number keeps repeating, type in that number into Google or whatever search engine you use, type in that number and then put angel number right next to it. So let's just say you keep seeing 1111. 1111 keeps coming up. A lot of partners, when they see 1111, most likely they're around their twin flame. Like, that was a number that kept coming up for a lot of people that were twin flames. Twin flames is something that I also explain in my end of month June video too. When you see a number that keeps repeating, it'll have an explanation for it. And 1111 talks a lot about, are you moving precisely in the direction that you want? Sometimes when you're most frustrated is when you'll see 1111, or even your birthday. I used to see my birthday numbers all the time when I was at work. Like, that number would just keep coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up. I would see it all the time. At that specific time, I was looking at the watch. And it wasn't that I was trying to make it a coincidence. I just felt like I had this feeling like, dude, it's either God or angels or something. Like, why would this freaking number repeat more and more? You're going to start noticing a lot of people catching that too. You're going to start noticing people are becoming more and more spiritual, especially by next year. So get ready for this. This is really fun. If you want a little heads up on the spiritual world, connect with me on YouTube, subscribe, so that way you can learn the different little ways of you also developing your psychic ability. And one of them is just looking up those numbers. It's really pretty cool. Another way that I do it is by seeing specific birds or animals. And I don't think there's, someone asked me about an owl last night, and I'm a positive energy. I try to keep myself very, very positive, and it's very important to me how positive I want to keep it. I'm very passionate about positivity. So when I see it, if you tell me you see an owl, I'm going to tell you that means that something life-changing is going to happen. I'm not going to tell you that it's bad or good, but it's something that is transformational, something that is like completely life-changing, that you never thought that would happen. That's what that means. So we cannot be scared of the spirit world. We need to make sure that we are protected, our soul is protected, and you ask for protection when you're asking for spiritual access, if that makes sense. I would never ask anyone to do this without covering themselves, without shielding themselves. You have to put a shield on before you go into the fire, because you can access many different things. That's why I would never recommend anybody opening their third eye if they had not gone through all the spiritual practices that one soul must go through first. So if you've ever been interested in the third eye, opening it, there's other things that you need to do and practice before you start going on to that next plane, so that way you know how to manifest the energy. And I feel like the reason why we were here living at this lifetime right now is because we were supposed to be trained on how to manifest energy. How to change energy, how to either manifest it, or how to change it and turn it around for a positive outcome. Because we are always given opportunities all the time, whether we're with children or at work or with our spouses or dealing with our friends or family members. We always have an opportunity every time to finish a conversation with something very positive, and it's up to us to leave it that way or not. And the more we help others, I've been realizing, especially during the time of cancer, you're less in you're less in your pity when you're helping others, because you start seeing how much you're accomplishing by helping others, that the little pity stuff, they just fall and die away. Meanwhile, you're so focused on helping others that everybody is just applauding you for all the help that you've given them, because you didn't waste your time on having self-pity. You didn't waste your time on being sad. You didn't waste your time on wasting it with people that didn't deserve your time. When you're actually helping others, and when you help others, it raises your frequency, it raises your vibrance, and it brings you back to a position where you're balanced again. So whether, you know, maybe you were in a relationship and you kept chasing someone else's light, Taurus, and you were trying to always keep them happy, or, you know, you didn't know what to do because you were just trying to make the situation better. When you fill yourself up, the situation will be better automatically. Like everybody will be on their path. You just have to get it to that point where you fill yourself up and everything just, you know, kicks in. So from now until November, there's going to be a huge transition. September is going to be a huge portal of change. November is going to be a huge transition. And then the next 7 years, you're going to be like, whoa, what happened? This is crazy. This is not the old life that I used to have. There are going to be ups. There are going to be downs. It's not going to be smooth sailing all the time. But that's why I wanted to devote my time for YouTube, so that I can explain what is happening, so that people don't fall apart. There's nothing that I'm gaining, literally there's nothing that I'm gaining other than helping people heal, because when I see people healing, I literally start feeling healing myself. And I really want to emphasize on that. And me and you, Taurus, we share planet Venus, and because I'm a Libra, and something about us is the reason why we were here was to really help people out. And there's something so special and so compassionate about us, that we know what to do when the time is right to make people feel safe, and people feel like they're in a, not that they're okay, but they're surrounded by luxury, they're surrounded by abundance, you know, not to give them the crumbs. We're not people like that. We're not the minimal crumb people. We want to give the whole big boatload, but we'll have to do it in such a safe position where we're not screwed over either. But and that's why I did this channel, because I wanted to help guide people back to the light, because there was so much dim and dark energy that I felt that I had to get online. And I was like, no, let's talk about positivity. Let's talk about shifting this energy, because it's really especially important for Libras and Tauruses to really work on this, on helping others shift their atmosphere. Because when you guys host, let's say like when your family is doing good and you guys invite people over, you guys are having your barbecues, or you're having your camping, or you guys are having your get-togethers and your dinners, when you're at your ultimate self and you're feeling confident and you feel happy and your people are there, oh my God, you guys, like Libra and Taurus, are, I swear, I feel like you guys are the best hostesses when it comes to a party. You guys really know how to take care of people. You guys really know how to like dress. You guys really know how to make people feel good. You know how to make everybody included. It's not weird. Like you guys are so comforting that we want to be there forever all the time and get more and more invitations. And I know other people feel like that about Libra too. And I know especially that they're going to feel like that about Taurus. There's something about you guys that you don't even understand about your presence, how warm it is. And the more quiet you are, it sucks. I wish you guys would just talk more about the realness of really what's going on. I know you guys have a lot of respect for your lives. And, but it's better that you guys talk a little bit, so that way you don't feel that like burnout feeling, instead of one day just waking up and being a volcano and just erupting. You know what I mean? Maybe bring social gatherings that are people that get along with you and your spouse, or the, you know, the partner that you live with, or the family members that you live with. Find friends or family members that get along with all of you guys, so that way everybody can be included. And then you can, if you want, throw some jabs out then. I mean, I don't know. But I mean, not the jabs in terms of hurting someone's feelings. You need to understand that we are all human, we're all learning, and none of us, definitely none of us, are perfect, including me. And people need to get that. Like, there's some people that are so dry and so stubborn, and they just think like they have the best advice all the time. But then you think outside the box and you're like, look, I did it this way and I can do it differently. And I know Taurus, you're just like that. Like you're gonna do it your own way. You're gonna be stubborn, but then you show us, hey, it could be a success. Look at me. And I'm like, oh wow, I'm so impressed. Every Taurus that I have ever met didn't see what I saw in them, and when I started explaining what I saw in them, they were so surprised when I explained it in the way that I explained it. But you guys give me this feeling like we all want to get close to you guys. You guys are like a moth to the flame. You guys are like that flame, like, because of how much you show in your life, of who you are as a person. We are just stunned to be around you. It's not just the things that you have or the things that you offer us. It's your personality and the way you carry yourself, the person that you are in the world, the way that other people see you. It's just so damn impressive that we want to follow along. We would like to get some guidance in such a way of the way that it works for you when you see people struggling. And Libra can do that. Taurus can definitely do that. When you guys are struggling and you guys have a story of how you got through that struggle, it's going to help so many people out there. And as you explain that story to all of us, we're going to be just sitting in awe around the campfire. Like, that's the kind of thing we've been waiting for, Taurus. The truth. Not the truth where it's just sharp and it's hurtful, but how it worked for you. Like, where did it get you to your journey? When you guys start like taking that wall down and start really warming up, it's like the biggest fire. I can't even explain how good that fire feels, how welcoming it feels, how amazing you don't even understand the kind of energy pull you guys have. I don't even think you guys even fathom how much you're loved, but it's so hard to even express it because it's like you guys are this trophy that just sits on the shelf that's so far away. But if only we can access it, if you know what I mean. And that's how I really see Taurus. I feel like if they could just express themselves a little bit more, especially when it came to like what they wanted, how compassionate they are, not the sharp side, because I know you guys can be upset and stubborn sometimes. Sometimes you guys say some harsh things, just like any other human being. But something that you guys have, the gift is the gift of manifestation, the gift of getting your dreams accomplished, the gift of how you guys make so many social connections, the gift of like how far you guys got in your life. Like, there's so many struggles, there's so much oppression, there's so much limitation. Like, how the hell did you guys get through all that? And that's what people would really appreciate learning from you. So Taurus, as I start your reading in the tarot, I want to tell you, like, right now you're really, 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 really working your ass off on focusing, and you're really starting to finally listen to your intuition. I feel like it's been a while for you to have your inner strength of your own heart, but I feel like things are going to be turning up for you like never before. But it's going to be through a process of understanding. So it's not going to be 100% perfect. But as I take you through this journey, and especially, there's going to be a lot of waves. There's 6 planets in retrograde. So imagine if it's affecting all of those people. Some of these planets, they share 2 different signs. Mercury has Virgo and Gemini. And there's 6 planets. Mercury is a planet. So there's a lot of signs getting affected. And if they're all going through reversal, they're trying to reconstruct their life and the way that things are working out. And as we deal with that, we're noticing other people are dealing with that, and it affects us too. It boomerangs right back. But if we know that this is just a temporary period, and like I'm telling you, by September 6th, you're going to feel a huge difference. By November 10th, you're going to notice that there's even more of a difference. You're going to start seeing like this was just a journey for me to realize a lot of things. Whether if it's positive, whether it's negative, you're going to really sit there and start noticing like, hey, I was supposed to take this journey because if I didn't struggle through this stress, then I would have nothing to teach people on this earth. Thank you for going through this stress, Taurus. Thank you for going through this suffering, Taurus. Thank you for that, because no one else can manifest that much like you can. No one else could be like, oh my God, it crashed and burned and I regained it to double or triple the size. And I know you have that capability, even if you haven't done it yet. Maybe you owned a house a long time ago, and you guys had lots of money. Everything was set up very perfectly. Family was around. Everything was great. And now you're trying to, like, rebuild again. Because I see in the distant past, that's exactly what you guys were going through. You know, shit crashed and burned. Maybe you almost lost your house. Maybe you did lose your house. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe there was something wrong with finances. Maybe your partner or your spouse wasn't working, but you always felt like you had to struggle financially. Whatever that case may be, I see that it's in the distant past. And in your frontal mind, like, there's Two of Swords reversed is like, I used to think two different ways, and now I'm trying to split that decision into one. You know, I was really confused before. I'm really trying to hold myself from losing my shit, and instead of splitting my two different decisions, I really want to have one decision. I just want to stick to one decision and take that decision. In the distant past, you were waiting for your ships to come in so you could either leave or start something brand new or start something fresh. But you were really like thinking like, you know what? I'm going to go pick this up, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. Oh yeah, my ships are coming in, and I'm going to go. I'm going to get these finances, and I'm going to be moving fast. Well, what happened? The ships came in. But I see the Chariot reversed. The Chariot is a time during Cancer season. It is reversed. During this month, this card can represent a month, it can represent a season, it can represent a certain individual. Maybe they are the sign of Cancer. Maybe their moon is in Cancer. Or it could mean that you had plans on leaving. And now in the near future, you're starting to realize, you know what? I don't need to leave. I need to leave this energy. This energy is what I need to shift. So whatever the case may be, either the Cancer is not going to move, you know, the person that has the Cancer astrological sign, or you're going to plan on leaving, but it's going to be much more delayed. Or you're going to completely change your mind and be like, you know what, I need to fix this, whatever this is, because this is going to be the month that you start realizing what needs to be nurtured and taken care of, so that way you are on to the next progression of life. Once these are fixed, everything is in abundance, because you get the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups is like talking about everything being fulfilled emotionally, whether if your partner or your spouse or your friendships or even your relationships or even your children, whatever, if everything was upside down and if people were dissatisfied, you're going to start seeing like everybody's starting to feel a little bit more content as the months are going by, because there's more nurturing going around. And I feel, Taurus, like the more you help people, the more communicative you are. And I'm not talking about just financially helping them, okay? Because I know when it comes to finances, you are very generous. So please, 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 I'm not talking about that unless it's like a social gathering and you're providing food and drink when there's a gathering, you know, that's totally different. What I'm talking about is those stories of helping others, like whether it's your children or it's your relatives or it's your friendships, you know, those stories that you have of progress, those are really going to help people move along, and that's going to flip all of these cups and fill them up with water. And then you're going to feel like, oh, you know what, they don't even need that much attention anymore. I gave them so much attention, I have so much free time now. You know, I give them so much attention that they need their own time because I have filled them up so much. Sometimes our kids are unhappy, but that could be because they're bored. They're getting in trouble. They're getting, you know, they're bored. So we work a little bit harder. We put them in soccer. We put them in ballet. We put them in whatever they want to do. And then we start realizing, you know what, these kids are tired now because they have so much activity to do. We put in that much time to figure out what they need, so that way they can express themselves, so that way they can feel themselves. And it didn't really require that much time from us, but it required thought. Now, if you add those thoughts and the different puzzle pieces that you need, now you're not so overwhelmed and burdened because of the time that your kids need anymore. It's because you've already structuralized and organized something for them, so that way they can feel content, and that way they don't feel like they miss you so much. Because when a child misses their parent, or when a child feels lack, and they start getting bored, they could get into trouble. But if we take that few minutes to think, okay, what does my child need to feel? You don't really need to put in the finances. You know, it's not about just, I'm going to give them a gift, I'm going to do this, I'm going to buy them toys, and they're going to be okay for the next 2 weeks. It has to be some kind of consistent thing where they can do. And maybe you don't have the finances to put them in soccer or ballet, but maybe you could take them to the park, and it could be like a weekly thing, or maybe you guys could do chores together, or maybe you guys can have conversations about bullying, or, you know, whatever the case may be. And that can be for your spouse too, like giving them that few minutes of just talking, expressing. You don't have to be a problem solver, but just giving that emotion and compassion, that's all it takes. But being the problem solver is just going to create more problems. Just having a solution, just being there, being an ear is going to be really great for you. What I want to tell you is, if you feel that you're starting to feel like this feeling of boredom and everything that's being offered to you is just not loving, you don't get the love that you want, you keep focusing, oh God, I don't have the love I want, I don't have the love I want. What are you doing so that way you can change it? It could be like a physical change that you need to make, but I have King of Cups in reverse. There is somebody that you love very much, you have a lot of emotion for them, and I feel like it's either hard for you to give them love or it's very hard for them to give you love. But when it comes to like emotions, this person, I feel like they lack it sometimes, you know? But what you need to understand is that as much as we give, we'll only receive that. As much as we let go, they'll only let go that much. And you have to understand that through this nurturing cycle, because we left Gemini season, Taurus, and that was done on purpose. It was done on purpose for you to see Gemini season. You were seeing the good, the bad. You opened up the Pandora box. You saw whatever you're going to deal with. You saw whatever you won't deal with. You saw it all. Because you know exactly that no human being is 100%. You understand this yourself. You know this. So when Gemini season left, you're like, okay, well, I see it all. There's good, there's bad, but I don't want to give that much love, and they're not giving that much love to me. You're going to get tired of that feeling. You're going to start understanding that it takes two to get this started. It takes two. It's not just one person was good or one person was bad. It's not about that. When you're not opening your heart to receive love and you're just focusing on the bad stuff that happened in the past, or they're doing the same thing, one person has to keep reminding of where the goal is, where the focus is. And it's not always going to be them. Sometimes it has to be you that reminds them where the goal is, where the focus is, you know, where you want to do. And when you feel that lack, when you feel like the love is not given and received, then try to do something special for your spouse. If your spouse doesn't feel it, then try to do something for the kids, or if you have kids, because if you do something for the kids in the spouse season, they're like, oh, that's so special, because, you know, direct your energy somewhere where it could be beneficial. Because as long as you don't waste that energy on dwelling and actually put it towards helping, then when the time comes and you need something, you need someone, you need emotional fulfillment, you'll see it automatically coming because you've already invested in it. And in this lifetime, we cannot invest in only one emotional atmosphere. I understand that our partners and our spouses and our relationships are definitely priority sometimes. However, if you are unbalanced and you're just putting all of your light, all of your energy into that other person, there's nothing left for you, and there's nothing left for you to give other people, and the world will never survive this way. And you have to be first giving to yourself, you have to be centered to yourself, and then make sure that the energy is balanced in a much better way for you. You're going to come to this realization, and then you're going to start developing at the end of the month, you're going to start developing like this passion to take a risk for your heart, and you're going to feel like you need to do it because you're impatient. You're going to feel like you have no other choice. I'm sorry, I'm impatient, like I can't deal with this, like I gotta go, I gotta figure this out, I gotta go on my own journey. When you go on your own journey, you're going to feel a little bit of the hanged man. Because there are some things that you really do enjoy in your life. There are some things that you really do enjoy from your partner. There are some things that you really do enjoy from your lifestyle. And when you go to this position where you're going to want to be by yourself and you start thinking about like, okay, what is it I need? What is this? What is that? The first thing that is going to come to your mind when your ideas, when you're left alone, is that finances do really matter. You know, once you start looking at all of the issues and everything that you need to do, you're going to start noticing finances do matter. And once you feel this way, once you start focusing on building your life, building your own finances, making sure that you're fulfilled, making sure that emotionally, like whatever you expect from yourself is fulfilled, not what someone else expects from you, but your own like financial fulfillment for you to have. Once you feel that and you start feeling like your help is actually being appreciated, you can actually do anything you want in this world. And the world will be conspiring for you. So make sure that you light yourself up, Taurus. Make sure that you heal yourself. The Cancer season is all about nurturing yourself. Make sure that you take care of yourself so that way you can take care of your family and the people that are around you. But remember, some of it is just giving more love, and some of it is just helping a little bit more, and you'll see things transpire for you. Okay, guys? So please be on the lookout for my end of the month culmination videos. Remember, I do have one for June. I talked about several different things, the 6 different planets that are in retrograde. I talked about a little bit about twin flames, about relationships, the hierarchy of psychology, many different things. So if you guys have a chance, please, I look forward to you guys watching that video. Please like, share, subscribe, and if you guys, if you feel like this message is resonating with you, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear back. And if you want to email me, it's Donatella, Empress of Swords @gmail.com. I love you all. Have a very happy and safe 4th of July. Take care.